Hey guys, absent-minded gamer here. Hey, I wanted to put this little video out there because I picked up this little program on simmarket.com yesterday, and I wanted to share it because it is available on sale right now for €14, and I think that works out to about 15 and a half US dollars. So in my opinion, I think this program's really worth it. It's kind of a unique little program. There's other add-ons that have been out and about for other iterations of Flight Simulator that have done the same thing, but this is a nice addition to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. But the program I'm talking about is FSRealistic Pro, and it has some really nice features, and it implements itself well into Flight Simulator. I haven't had any issues running it. Now, granted, I've only been using it for a day, but I've tried it in a multitude of different airplanes, even payware planes, and it seems to help in some that have very little in the way of environmental noise, sounds. But I'm going to just go ahead and read to you what is in the product page, and then we'll go from there. So FSRealistic Pro brings a whole new world of immersion into Microsoft Flight Simulator. With a growing list of 37 cameras and sound effects, you will experience Microsoft Flight Simulator like never before. FSRealistic Pro brings realistic effects for GA, general aviation aircraft, jets, turboprops, gliders, helicopters, seaplanes, and more. What are you waiting for? Fasten your seatbelts and join the ride. It has a growing list of 37 effects. It is frame rate friendly, and I agree with that. Also has a first person mode, which is a little awkward to use, but I'll show you that. It also has a profile cloud for an easy start. Not really sure what that means. Compatible with all head tracking devices, and it does complement the butt kicker apparently. And it's supported by all third parties as of 2022. Now, unfortunately, there haven't been any updates for this in a while, but I'm assuming that it's pretty much in a completed state, and I'm hoping that whatever they do, they add more to it later or do more for it. But for $14, I'm not going to complain too much, and it really does add to the overall environment when you're in your plane, outside the plane and whatnot. So we'll just go ahead and show it to you. The first thing we need to do is boot up Flight Simulator, go figure out where you're going to go fly. We are sitting at Garden Valley, Idaho, U88. Found this airport on flightsim.to, and we're in the Cessna 172. We're going to just keep it default for this one. Okay, so I jumped out and I went and I loaded FSRealistic Pro, and there's a little voice that comes on that says FSRealistic Pro connected. And now you can hear a bunch of different little sounds coming from inside the cockpit. And notice, and what I'm assuming that this is people getting into the back of the plane and moving around. But notice how the plane is kind of moving up and down as would be my two passengers in the rear if I had any, moving around. But the actual UI, the interface that we're going to use for this, I'll bring that up here in a second. But let's go ahead. Alright, so here is the user interface for FSRealistic Pro. Now, what I find interesting is that they're selling it as FSRealistic Pro, but it doesn't say FSRealistic Pro. So the license is for FSRealistic Pro. There's your manual, link to their website, forums, Facebook, support, etc. And then we can go into settings, and here you can set your volume and everything that's going on within Flight Simulator. And then you tab over, and we go to profile, And you can see where here it's loaded the Asobo 172 with the AS 1000. And notice the extra sound effects that we have here. If I tab this off, there. Now we're back to just the default with the birds chirping in the background. We don't have the exterior wind noise anymore. And then there's the first person view, which I'll show you in a second. Okay, to run the avatar mode or to walk, and this is all experimental according to this, so it's pretty buggy. You even have a flashlight, and you just set that to a key that you want, and you can turn on the flashlight. But you toggle. I set mine to F12, and for this to work, this has to be up when you do it. There. Okay. So here we are outside the airplane. I'm gonna shrink that down. Now what I don't like about this is that it turns off all your aliasing and whatnot. So I'm hoping that's something they fix in the future. And why my airplane is sitting up instead of backward laying on its tail, I have no idea. But this is avatar mode, or first person whatever view. I can live without it. Drone mode or external view works just fine for me. And it's really weird. So that's it, but look what it does to your scenery. So anyways, back to the rest of the video. And then the effects. And this is just your list of those 37 effects. You get, what I really like is you get more noise on when you extend your flaps. You get flaps drag, flaps stress, which is kind of cool. Engine start has a little bit more. You actually have your pilot says clear prop just before you start the engines. And there's more cockpit ambiance. So that's cool, I think. I think that just, it takes a default airplane and makes it into something that is almost kind of payware quality. You kind of get where I'm going with that. But there's a whole list of stuff here. Windshield wind ambience, that's what we're listening to now. General turbulence. Touchdown. If you land hard, you're really going to feel it. And you're going to hear it in the sound. And I will do that too for this video. Toilet flush if you're in the right kind of airplane. I don't think I want to hear a toilet flush in a Cessna 172. And scary ride. So it adds quite a bit of other features, like if you're flying a float plane. I haven't tried that, but we will do that. I guess it adds quite a bit more sound effect to the actual floats and its contact with water, which I'm really looking forward to that. Breathing, scary flight, scary ride, whatever that might be. Low altitude turbulence, landing applause. So a little bit of everything. So let's just go ahead and we'll get in and we'll check out the Cessna. Okay, my first panel's up. Let's go ahead and we should be ready here. Oh, I didn't get a clear prop. Oh well. It does do that. I've had to do that a couple times. So, and notice the movement of the airplane's changed. You're actually getting a little kind of a head bob or wind bob, or I don't know what you want to call that, but you're getting a little bit more out of the airplane. Now, like your flap noise. Flap noises are a little more pronounced. I'm gonna do something over here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and take off. Look at the shaking. There's more shaking too. More pronounced on the sound effects also. Oh, look at that. Oh yeah, that's not good. I think we're gonna have to start over. Okay, so here we are back in the cockpit. That was an utter disaster, but you got to hear the extra sound effects there when we slam back into the ground. Sounds get a little more pronounced as you get more speed. There we go. Watch the trees. Oh, that scared me. That was not me. That was the guy sitting behind me in the airplane. All right, let's add in some weather here. Let's turn up the fright factor a little bit. That guy deserves it. All right, I've added in some weather. Oh, this is sure a neat little area out here. There will be next episode of 5 Random Airports and Airfields will be coming out soon, and this is going to be one of the airports. So, but sounds a little more, the wind is a little more pronounced.
Don't sing.
Flaps. Let's see what happens when we add more flaps. I think the sale is like on this is for another 4 or 5 days. At least I think yesterday. I think it's 4 more days. So if this is something that interests you, get it while you can get it cheap. hopefully, with more interest in it, the more updates it will have. As we come in, your landing sounds are going to be more pronounced when we make contact. I'll try to land hard. That should not be a problem for me, but listen to that. Oh, not a good landing. And you got brake noises and a little bit of everything there. So it does add a lot to the default plane. And like I said, it'll also add it to some of the third party. Well, I think it'll add it to all of the third party stuff. But this, most predominantly, you'll notice it in the default planes. So let's go ahead and jump to a float plane and we'll go check that out. Alright, so here we are in the Porter, and we're gonna fly. We're out in Ferry County. We're in Republic, Washington. I'm familiar with the lake over here, so we're gonna be flying into Curlew Lake. And notice the little differences here where the plane's actually moving. Or, I don't know if that's supposed to be the actual plane moving or you moving or what. So let's go ahead and get in the air and we'll go land on the water. Now, I honestly think that there's a little more going on here than there normally is with the default plane. Going to be Curlew Lake over there. A lot more wind noise. Now, like I was saying, the program actually automatically detects what airplane you're in. So you should not have to switch, but if you want to try something different, you can go access some of the other profiles that are out there on the cloud and try them out if you want to. I think I can't remember how many it said there were for the Cessna, but there were quite a few. Come in over here and land just after that little island out over there, out over our left side. Drag, the sound of the wind hitting the flaps. I know there's been a lot of these programs, and I think every iteration of Flight Simulator every version. I know there's one of these available for X-Plane, and I believe it was by the same people. I have either owned them or tried them. I believe, I want to say I even reviewed some of the older utilities that were kind of like this. Okay, let's go ahead. Oh yeah, that's much better. That was cool. That's it. That's neat. That adds some much needed features to the water landing in Flight Simulator. So this also carries on if you. I need to turn the rudder on. Alright, to close this video out, I think what we're going to do is go ahead and take a quick little shot in the Kodiak. We're just going to take off from Ferry County here in stormy weather, and we're going to see what's different about it and what FSRealistic might be doing for this airplane. Now, I did try the Tiger Moth, as you can see, and I didn't really notice any difference in the Tiger Moth or sound or otherwise. So some of the payware stuff, this may not work as well. So anyhow, let's just jump into the Kodiak, and I'm going to go ahead and switch the sound off and see what we can see here, or what we can actually hear here. Okay, so here we are sitting in the Kodiak, and what we're going to do here is we are just going to just do a quick little circuit out of Ferry County and then back around again and land. But I want to see what FSRealistic actually does for the Kodiak. Let's go ahead and jump outside. And those are some ominous looking clouds, aren't they? And if I added in some bad weather. You can hear the wind. Now, if we go and turn off FSRealistic, there is the sound without FSRealistic. You don't hear the wind noises. Now it's back on. So, not a big difference there. I think where you're going to really hear it is when you're in the air. Whoa. Heavy crosswind there. don't know if this is such a big test. I'm not probably not going to hear much until I drop the flaps. But there are other little noises that I'm hearing that are coming from the interior of the cockpit, kind of like the sounds coming from the Cessna. Overall, this is a really good utility. It really, in my opinion, it really enhances the default aircraft, and it does add some interesting features to some of the payware aircraft. The sound effects, the extra sound effects, the buffeting, and whatnot. It's worth it, and for $14, man, you can't go wrong with that. Trucking along here at 148 miles, 149. Let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and start our approach. Lose some airspeed here. Yeah, there's extra little sound effects there. Or overspeed.
500. 500.
Coming in way too fast. I think we need to come in from the other direction. I think the wind's coming in from the north. Okay. Getting a lot of wind. What I want to do is try to get my flaps all the way down this time. Oh yeah, listen to that. Much more pronounced.
500.
We are full flaps. Whoa. Man, that is not easy. And you actually, the brake noises, the brake noises are much better, and you have the landing noises. That's pretty cool. So I like it. That is FSRealistic in a nutshell. If it's something that you've been kind of thinking about, I saw a post the other day, and that made me kind of wonder about it. So it got me to looking, and that's how I discovered it was on sale. So if you're interested in it, you can get it while it's on sale. It is, I would say it's worth it. I mean, I'm not going to complain about $14 or $15. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. All right. Well, we'll see you in the next one.